I want to introduce to you Dr. Antonio Molina-Pachon, who really is the reason that we're all here today. And we're going to share a little bit about our vision for developing a rare disease research institute in the region. And we'll take a look at the slides. We'll take a moment to, anybody who hasn't told us everybody who you are can introduce yourselves, and let's have a little while of just conversing about what our opportunities might be and kind of thoughts that we should have in mind as we're going forward, and in particular, if you feel compelled, you want to work with us and help it happen, thoughts you have about what you might be able to bring in terms of resources, energy, etc. Take it away, Antonio.
Sure. Well, first of all, I don't want to grow a bad reputation here. I think science is great, and I am in the same state as you are, pushing good science with little funding and stuff. But in gene therapy, I tried that many times.
I'm going to put this so that make sure everybody can hear you. Yeah, and help. Totally.
Where's the
Roadie.
Thank you, Michael.
Extra guitar picks.
Okay. Well, my name is Antonio Molina. Right now, I am an entrepreneur in biotech. I am working, for the last 9 years, I have been working in trying to develop new drugs against diseases that have to do with accelerated aging. There are two main sets of diseases that have to do with this. One are diseases where the whole body ages really fast. And the other set of diseases are diseases where only a tissue or an organ ages really fast. And we are pushing ahead a patented 11 amino acids synthetic peptide that is able to stabilize the telomerase complex. And by doing this, both in cells where telomerase activity is very low or even normal, by increasing telomerase activity a little bit, we can rescue phenotype of cells from patients with different diseases. We are focused on three main diseases. The keratosis congenita is an ultra-rare disease, prevalence 1 per million. Ataxia telangiectasia is a rare disease, prevalence more or less 1 in 50,000. And then IPF too. IPF is a set of patients suffering from IPF where we see low telomerase activity in short telomeres in pulmonary epithelial cells. Anyway, I have gone through, I was a scientist, I have a Ph.D. in molecular biology, and I was a scientist a long time ago, but I wanted to see the end of what I was doing. So I wanted to get closer to the drug and closer to the patient. I wanted to see the face of the patient. So I moved more and more towards more advanced, projects closer to clinical. And one day I just went to the private sector. So I worked for different companies, and one day I was tired of them, so I just decided to create my own one, and so everybody took heaven. I remortgaged my house, sold my car, and everything. So we started this, my wife and myself, this adventure 9 years ago. And the trigger for me was a sad story. My controllers are happy ending story. I saw a very sad story where a 3-year-old kid ended up dying of one of these diseases, and it was so traumatic for me. Seeing, doctors, I'm sure that you will see this often, but seeing how light goes out from a kid's eyes. So before they die, there is a moment, or a few hours, a few days, where something dies before the body dies. I'm not getting religious or philosophical, but there are things that we must defend. Children don't die. I like your sentence. So we jump into this. So because we jump into this, I have accumulated a lot of experience doing wrong things, or doing the right things in the wrong way. And I have met many entrepreneurs that follow similar pathway, similar to mine. And I have seen all the problems that we have and where we could save money and time and effort and develop new drugs and treatments in a more efficient way and in a faster way. I'm talking about early stage projects. So my family, we decided to move here. My wife is from New York, so we had to move here. And when we are moving our company, we have several little companies in Europe, in Spain, and some little things in Switzerland. So we are moving everything to the New York area. And when, like a year and a half ago, I didn't meet Joanne. Joanne met me through LinkedIn, and she explained to me about Westchester. We were going to California, to sunny San Francisco area. So I learned about Westchester, and I saw that there is a lot of potential here. I always say that there are a bunch of dots in the area that need to be connected. So more projects and more research and more startup companies can be nurtured in this area, and at the end of the day, more treatments for patients can be developed. So we decided that we want to move to New York instead of to California, and here we are. By moving to New York and by realizing the potential of the Westchester area, the whole New York State, but the Westchester area in particular, I brought back to life an old project of mine that I have had for those 9 years at least, that I have been working in rare diseases, as an entrepreneur. And now, thanks to the Westchester Biotech Project, thanks to Michael and Joanne, we are pushing the creation of the Westchester Rare Diseases Biohub. And what is this? This will be a biohub, so it will be a building. We are not interested in rigs, so we will team up with real estate people that will take care of the building part. But this will be a building where we will incubate early stage projects, all of them focused on rare diseases, following the definition of the FDA, the definition of rare diseases by FDA. So focused on rare diseases, all of them early stage projects, spin-offs from different academic institutions, and we will create a kind of 360 degrees concierge service, so we can provide entrepreneurs with everything that we know that they need, including intelligence, including financial help, investment, including legal help, from an IP point of view, business development, very early stage intelligence in business development, and so on. Also intelligence in how to do the science that needs to be done, so you end up being able to use that science in a clinical trial. Because sometimes we do things in a way that end up not being the right way. So we will help these companies in all this way. And we want, when I explain this, many people ask me a typical question. So we will not discriminate any disease or any project by prevalence. So I prefer 1 in 8 million, but if it's 1 in 13 million, that's fine with us. We will not, we will take equity. The system will take some equity in the company, because I have realized very early that at the end of the day, there are exceptions to this, but at the end of the day, there are private companies, the ones that end up putting drugs in the market. So we will bring investors, take some equity in each project, and we will be a very active. We don't want to build the company, but we will take some equity so we can divest when the company goes IPO or M&A or whatever. And that's what we are doing right now. We are working a lot, talking to many different stakeholders. There is a lot of potential in this region. I don't know, I think it was Jules who made a comment this morning about repurposing drugs. Having here I've been drugs for 10 weeks, and I already found 3 great scientists in the area that are involved, they are clinicians, they are involved in clinical trials, repurposing drugs against rare disease. Just by Googling and just by serendipity. There is a lot of potential, there is a lot of hunger in many academic institutions to push business development, to find investors, to move IP out of just the lab and bring it to industry. So we are tapping on all this and talking to all the stakeholders, and we think that will be interesting. And I think it will be a really beautiful project. And as an entrepreneur, I have to be an idiot and I have to be a visionary. So I really see in the first phase of our project, like 10, 12 different startups, and then we will learn from our mistakes, and then in the second phase, I see many more. I see the Regenerons of the futures, the Genentechs, the Alexions, and if you build it, they will come. I mean, I'm a movie freak. My wife is American, and we love movies, and especially American cinema. So if you build it, they will come. And we will follow, to make this very clear, we will follow an extremely simple model. We have a set of steps that we will use to evaluate each project. They have to have an extremely solid science. If the science is very solid, we will go for them. We will invest seed capital, and we will fundraise so we can invest up to $500,000 into tranches per project. And we will provide, as I said before, all the nurture and intelligence and networking and advice that all these companies need. When we talk to different people, that's what we are doing right now, we have found an extremely warm interest from many of them. For example, we are putting together a panel of seasoned CEOs, CSOs, CFOs, VPs in business development and many other things that will participate in a kind of token mentorship. This means that each entrepreneur will have a number of tokens, hours of phone conversations per month. So if you have a specific problem with, or you need to know something about FDA strategy, we will give you the contact of the person in this or this other company that deals with this kind of issue. So you will have an hour or 2 hours per month to talk to these people. We will externalize everything that can be externalized. So we will hopefully team up with Jackson and many other companies. We don't want our companies to reinvent the wheel at all. All the money that we are going to give them has to go to a very solid proof of concept following the previous very solid science that they have done. So by proof of concept, I mean that they have to have a very, at the end of the first or second year, they have to have a very clear dossier about the chemical nature of the molecule that they are working with, the molecular target, what receptor does it bind some any other things. They have to have a more or less okay idea about possible toxicity problems, if it's possible, some even preliminary idea about PK/PD. And we want to prepare a new project so we can approach or help entrepreneurs approach VCs looking for or looking at an A round. And that's it. Once a company reaches an A round and it grows really fast, if the project goes okay, and they're independent, they will not need us anymore. But before that, I have seen many projects die because they lack the funding, they lack the intelligence, or they went for something, or they had some toxicity issues that could have been solved in some particular way, some delivery problems. Entrepreneurs never thought about using PLDAs instead of this or that. So we will help them in all these ways, and we will try to, what we call the risk, lower the risk of failure, so the risk of these projects in a very early stage, and increase the probability of success. This, we hope, will make them more appealing for professional and bigger investors, and make them real in a few years. So that's the dream, and at the end of the day, and go back to you, and children don't die. I mean, it's a devastating thing when you see a 3-year-old that goes away, and you cannot do anything at all. If that doesn't change your life, if that doesn't move you, you're right. I mean, you just don't. And we can do it. And the amazing thing is that we can do it. We're in the right spot. I think we are in the right country. The economy is booming. I mean, we can do it. If we can do it, we must try. So that's what we're doing. We're connecting the dots. And you won't hear about that in a way, but maybe in a year or two we will have a nice portfolio of new projects. So we will someday help killing people.
Thank you, Antonio. So there's the beginning of the vision. Antonio's been thinking about this for a long time. We've gotten involved with it because we think it's important. We believe in Antonio as a champion and who's really opened the gates and opened our minds to this whole possibility of a big honking goal.